In this section, I'm going to show you how to create a great looking marketing website for your app. So we're going to be completely away from Android Studio, and we're actually going to use the tools that you get free with this course in your Eco Web Hosting account. So if you haven't set that up yet, go right back to the beginning of the course and watch the video that shows you how. Of course, you're very welcome to use another web hosting system or to do this another way if you prefer. We're going to be using a freely available system called WordPress, which allows you to create and edit a website without knowing any HTML or JavaScript or any coding at all, in fact. It's really great, and if you want to get into developing websites, I definitely recommend looking into WordPress. But we'll see a lot more about how WordPress works in a minute. So going back to your Eco Web Hosting account, the first thing you'll need to do is to create a hosting package. So a hosting package essentially adds a domain name to your account and allows you to put something on it. So you might want to enter something like mygreatapp.com, or if you've actually got a name for your app, you might want to put that in there. You don't have to own the domain name to test it out, but if you want to use the actual domain name itself, you will need to purchase it. You can do that from Eco Web Hosting for around £7 a year, depending on the domain, or you could do that with another company, completely up to you. If you just want to test it out, then just put any domain you like in there, and that will then set up for you. Once you've done that, you can go over to access your cPanels over here, and then that will give you a list of the domains that you've created. You can see I've got a test one here, and then Android Dev Course is the domain I'm going to be using for this particular demo here. So once you click on the domain name, that will then log you into the cPanel or control panel for that particular hosting package. And here we are. This is where you can do all sorts of things with your hosting package. I'll just give you a very quick flavor of what you can do. So you can work with files up here, back up your website, work with email. You will need a live domain, so you will need to have to purchase a domain if you want to work with email, but you can do everything you would want to with email there. There's various web stats and logs packages there. MySQL databases, PHP versions. If all of this means nothing to you and you want to get into web development, you might want to check out my web developer course as it covers all of this. But we're just going to scroll down because we're going to work with the one particular CGI script, which is WordPress blog. Now it's called WordPress blog, but it's not specifically to blogs. All sorts of sites run WordPress, and I think it's actually something like 15% of the internet runs on WordPress, so it is pretty huge. So your only choice when installing WordPress is a location. So if you want to install WordPress on the root of your site, so if you wanted it to appear at, say, androiddevcourse.com, then you would leave the box blank. I'm going to enter a subdirectory there. So this is going to appear at androiddevcourse/demo site. And you can actually check it out now if you want to. It is there. So let's click install site, and that will then set up WordPress for you. It takes a few seconds, but then when it's done, you'll be able to jump over to it. Here we go. And I'm going to click on that top one there. So Android Dev Course/demo site, and then it will run through the installation progress for you. So I'm going to call it My Awesome App. Username, you can have anything you like. So I'll have Rob Percival. Password, good to have something nice and secure. I'm still very weak there. Oh well, it's just a demo anyway, but obviously try and make a nice strong password. And then your email address. So I'll put mine in there too. Then just off the screen there, I think there was the install WordPress button. So that's now been installed. Super easy. So then login. We've got a captcha test just to avoid any denial of service attacks. So just enter the number there. And then log in using the username and password that you just entered. And I would click remember me because you'll probably be coming back and doing things on it later. Here we go. So this is the WordPress dashboard. And the first thing to see is that there's an updated version of WordPress available. So I always recommend doing an update if there is one available, and then just click the big blue Update Now button. Because WordPress is so widely used, it's often hacked and old versions are vulnerable to attack. So here we go. Just make sure you keep your site up to the latest version at all times. Okay, so back to the dashboard. Let's have a quick look and see what we've got here. We've got some basic options. So writing your first post. We're not actually creating a blog here, so we're not that interested in those particular bits. And indeed, the dashboard is probably somewhere you're not going to spend a lot of time unless you are actually making a blog and working with comments, etc. So I would go straight to the pages area. And this is what we're going to be working with. So pages are designed for more static content rather than blog posts. So we're going to set our site up as a page rather than a post. And that means we don't really need to worry about posts or indeed pay that much attention to media, although we'll be looking at that later on. Really, media is just a place to store all of your images and possibly videos and other media content that you want on your site. Again, comments we're not going to be working with, but if you do want to, then we've got our default comment here, and as soon as comments come along, you can choose to approve them or reply to them, etc. So I'm going to jump over quickly to the settings page and just show you a few settings you should change whenever you create a WordPress site. So we've got our site title, which we entered at the beginning, My Awesome App. So you should change the tagline of your site that explains why your app is great. This is the URL that we entered at the beginning, so you can change that there if you want to. And then you've got a few basic settings that I'm not going to change. So once we've saved that, another thing I always change is the permalinks. So normally, if you create lots of pages on your site, then you get links like this, which aren't particularly nice or friendly. So I usually change it to post name. So it will just show the name of the post in the actual link in the address bar. You can obviously have something else there, but I would go for post name unless you particularly want something else. All right, so that's the very basics of WordPress. The main thing, of course, we want with our site is for it to look good. We're not interested in a massively complicated site, but we just want something that looks good and has a link to download our app. So I'm going to use the apps with a Z WordPress theme, which you can find at apps.themeshaker.com. You can see it looks like this, which is pretty snazzy. And the great thing about it is it's completely free. So if you want to do something more advanced or more customized, then it's well worth paying a little bit of money for a decent theme for your website. But if you just want to get something up and running quickly, then this free theme is a great way to go. So this theme is on themeshaker.com, which has a number of other themes available as well. And if you just Google WordPress themes, you'll have a bunch of options. But if you want to follow along with this tutorial, then go to themeshaker.com and search themes for apps with a Z. And then you'll get this one here. So you can view the demo that we just looked at and then click Get Theme. And that will then download the theme files to your computer. I'm just going to save them on the desktop. And then we just need to import them into our WordPress website. So we go down to Appearance and Themes. You can see there's all sorts of options there, which I'm not going to go into great detail beyond just creating our basic app. But there's a lot of choice and power that we can add here. So these are the themes that we have available by default. We can add a new theme, which is what we want to do. And you can see that there's a huge range of free themes available just within the WordPress setup. So you can install them completely from here. But what we want to do is upload a theme because we've found a theme on a separate website and downloaded it. So we just click Upload Theme and then choose File. and then find the file that you downloaded a moment ago, appstheme.zip, and then click Install Now. That will then upload the theme, and that's installed already. So I'm actually going to click Activate straight away. If you're not certain that you want to use it, then you can have a live preview, but it's definitely the one that we're going to go for. So I'm going to click Activate there. And there it is. So now we've got our new theme in place. Let's take a look. So I'm going to Command click or Control click on Windows to visit the site in a new browser tab. And here it is. So first off, I've already got this bar at the top because I'm logged into WordPress, but you won't see that if you just visit the site. It's just when you're logged into WordPress. So it already looks pretty good. We've got this nice big banner image at the top here, our logo, and our big download button. So now what remains is to customize our website, putting our own content on, and essentially trying to make it look more like the demo, but with our own content. So we're going to add some screenshots here, and we're going to add some images and text down further on as well. We'll do all that in the next video. I'll see you there.